This wasn't just a heated exchange, it was an outright political collision. Today, Congressman Salud Carbajal, a Marine Corps veteran, went head-to-head with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in a confrontation that quickly spiraled from policy questions into personal condemnation. From the deployment of Marines in Los Angeles, to Ukraine, NATO's Article 5, and allegations of classified information leaks, Carbajal repeatedly demanded one thing: yes or no answers, and accused Hegseth of dodging responsibility. The exchange ended with calls for resignation, accusations of incompetence, and questions about decorum itself. Was this accountability, or political theater? Let's break it down.
Mr. Carbajal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It shouldn't come as no surprise that I have serious concerns with both the deployment of the National Guard and the Marines to Los Angeles. I served in the Marine Corps. We are trained to be war fighters, not for crowd control. Everyone here should be alarmed that the President has sent armed forces into a city against the wishes of a governor and mayor. I am concerned this administration is purposely escalating the situation with this step and politicizing our armed forces in the process. Let's call it for what it is. It's political theater. Hegseth, are the Marines in Los Angeles ordered to protect property by any means necessary?
Sir, I would say the ICE officers and police officers being attacked is not political theater. The National Guard and Marines,
just yes or no. Just yes or no.
The National Guard and Marines have the full authority to protect federal ICE agents.
Yes or no.
Just
can you just say yes or no? This isn't Fox anymore. Just yes or no.
They're there to protect federal agents and federal.
Another BS answer. Under the SRUF, the use of force, are Marines allowed to fire warning shots?
No.
Now that's more like it. Isn't that easy? Well, I'm going to beat this drum because you refuse to take responsibility. Will you take responsibility for having made a mistake? Not to mention, many people would say break the law in participating in the Signal group chat that included a journalist, your wife, your brother, where classified information was shared.
Sir, every way I communicate is authorized. Every way
okay, if you want to say that. I have called for your resignation. I didn't think you were qualified before your confirmation, and you have done nothing to inspire confidence in your ability to lead competently. You broke the law in sharing classified information, and in doing so, endangered the lives of our service members that you are responsible for. Your inability to hold yourself accountable makes you incapable to lead. This alone makes you unfit to be the Secretary of Defense. Secretary, do you think the United States should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia, a nation that is hostile towards the United States?
Well, as you know, sir, President Trump is committed to peace.
No, I just want yes or no answers. Today,
the United States has spent billions of dollars.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Over years.
Just yes or no. Can I get a yes or no out of you?
We continue to send.
Come on.
Presidential drawdown.
It's that easy. Kindergartners could give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Yes, we support peace in Ukraine.
Come on. Is this really leadership? You're an embarrassment to the United States. If Russia invades NATO allies, are you going to recommend to the president that we fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Well, Russia has not invaded NATO allies.
No.
President Trump.
No. I reclaim my time. Yes or no? It's that simple.
There's Article 5 in NATO, which we recognize.
So is the answer yes or no?
That's what Article 5 is, yes.
Good. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. Do you think political allegiance to Trump is a requirement for serving our nation, either in uniform or a civilian in the department?
I'm incredibly proud, as there are millions of Americans.
No. Not today, Hegseth. Yes or no?
Congressman, you know what a silly question that is.
But silly enough
fidelity
to
the
warrant a
Constitution.
very straightforward answer, yes or no?
We all support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
You know what?
Proud
I'm not going to waste
Trump.
my time anymore. You're not worthy of my attention or my questions. You're an embarrassment to this country. You're unfit to lead. And there's been bipartisan members of Congress that have called for your resignation. You should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead this department.
Mr. Chairman, do we not have any decorum in?
This exchange occurred during a congressional oversight hearing, a forum designed to test competence, accountability, and clarity from senior defense officials. Instead, what unfolded was one of the most combative public interrogations of a defense secretary in recent memory. Congressman Salud Carbajal framed his questioning from a position of moral authority, repeatedly referencing his service as a Marine and emphasizing the distinction between warfighting and domestic crowd control. His core argument was clear. The deployment of Marines and National Guard troops to Los Angeles was unnecessary. It violated norms of civil-military relations. And it was done against the wishes of local and state leaders. Carbajal accused the administration of politicizing the armed forces, calling the deployment political theater. His strategy was deliberate: force binary answers to expose what he viewed as evasiveness. Key moment. When asked whether Marines were ordered to protect property, by any means necessary, Hegseth refused to give a yes or no answer. Carbajal escalated, accusing him of providing BS answers. This was less about the policy itself and more about command clarity and rules of engagement, a deeply sensitive issue for anyone with military experience. The moment Hegseth admitted that Marines cannot fire warning shots under SRUF, Carbajal seized on it as proof that direct answers were possible all along. The exchange turned explosive when Carbajal accused Hegseth of sharing classified information, participating in a signal group chat that included a journalist and family members, endangering service members. Hegseth's defense, "Every way I communicate is authorized," was legally cautious but politically ineffective. He never directly denied wrongdoing, which allowed Carbajal to frame the response as refusal to accept responsibility. This segment marked a shift from policy disagreement to personal credibility and fitness for office. Once a lawmaker openly calls for a cabinet secretary's resignation on the record, the exchange moves from oversight into political warfare. Carbajal's repeated yes or no questions about continued support for Ukraine, U.S. commitment to NATO Article 5, were designed to expose what critics see as strategic ambiguity in the Trump administration's foreign policy. Hegseth's insistence on reframing answers around peace rather than commitment revealed a key tension. The administration's desire to avoid hard commitments versus Congress's demand for explicit reassurance to allies. The Article 5 moment was especially revealing. Hegseth eventually said yes, but only after prolonged resistance, reinforcing Carbajal's argument that clarity was being actively avoided. The exchange ended with Carbajal declaring Hegseth an embarrassment and unfit to lead, even telling him to get the hell out. While critics may see this as excessive, supporters argue it reflects deep frustration, a belief that institutional norms are already broken, and that civility without accountability is meaningless. The chairman's closing question, "Do we not have any decorum in here?" ironically underscored the broader issue. When trust in leadership collapses, decorum is often the first casualty. This wasn't just about Los Angeles, Ukraine, or NATO. It was about civilian control of the military, transparency in defense leadership, and whether political loyalty is replacing professional accountability. For Carbajal, this was a moment of confrontation. For Hegseth, it was a moment of endurance. For the public, it was a rare, unfiltered look at how fractured civil-military trust has become. And judging by the reaction, this debate is far from over.